Thank the gentleman for yielding. I want to speak in opposition to this legislation, and here's why. It threatens Minnesota's Boundary Waters canoe area. It stops a scientific environmental review that's going on right now. It weakens the Antiquities Act, and it singles out Minnesota National Forest as not being allowed the same environmental protections that national and every other state receive. Now, northern Minnesota has a rich history of taconite mining. But the mine that's being proposed on the doorstep of the Boundary Waters, America's most visited wilderness, is a massive copper sulfide mine, something we have no history of in Minnesota. It would threaten some of the cleanest and most pristine water and lakes in the country. Now, today there is a 2-year review going on of the mining leases to analyze the risks of copper sulfide mining in the watershed of the Boundary Waters. It's based on science. It's supported by Secretary Perdue. It's supported by Secretary Zinke. And I should note that Secretary Zinke is supporting a similar review of a proposed mine in Montana that borders Yellowstone National Park. But this bill halts that scientific review and automatically grants the leases for the mine. If this becomes law, Minnesota's land and water would be singled out as not worthy of the exact same environmental review and protections that exist in every other state in the country. It carves out a special exemption for Minnesota from the Antiquities Act, which has been used on a bipartisan basis by 16 presidents as a conservation tool to protect America's history for future generations. And why should the land and history in Minnesota be less worthy of protection? And there's the public comments from more than 100,000 people, Mr. Speaker, that would be tossed aside. Mr. Speaker, the Boundary Waters is Minnesota's Yellowstone. Hundreds of thousands of people canoe and fish there annually every year. It's a national treasure. Some of the best memories of my life have taken place in the Boundary Waters as I grew up or now with my daughters. We owe it to future generations to understand the impact that copper sulfide mining poses to the Boundary Waters canoe area. And that's why I'm voting no on a bill that undermines science and puts Minnesota's water at risk. I yield back.